This is Shelley Siegel, and you are watching Atheist Edge.
Ooh, 6 minutes. I can do this.
Okay.
If you weren't so smart, I would be upset. But who was it? Winston Churchill. He said, "I use all my brains and all I can borrow." That's why I'm not even upset that Courtney ate up all my time, because all three of these people are way heads and shoulders smarter than me, and I'm just smart enough to bring us all together and make this show happen. So, we should have been passing these out. So I'm going to put these up here. There's bumper stickers and keychains. Anyone that piped in, so we can grab those afterwards. Notes. I don't need them. Screw it. Let's see. So just like Sam was saying, there's the two books. If you look for them on Amazon, they're also on Barnes and Noble.
I think you gave me 2 copies of The Most People Believe in God.
I give you 2 copies of the same one?
You did.
Instead of one of each? I don't know.
Well, it was because I brought my husband with me, and so you handed one to him as well.
Yes, in the back.
Are your books on Audible?
No. Well, I need to. Anyone a voiceover actor? You are?
Well, I'm not a voiceover actor, but I can make it.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know with that.
I would love everything's Audible. Thanks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great idea. I've been thinking about doing that because print is kind of dead. Luckily, people read their books in the car on the way, commuting to work and back nowadays.
You gloss over the typos.
Yeah. Oh, the first one, 31 typos in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second one, I actually hired an editor, so it'll be better. But both of these are good bathroom readers, if you know what I mean. You put them on the back of the toilet because you can just pick them up and open them to any place in the book and start reading. It's one of those types. Just little tidbits of information. Anyway, what was I going to say? So, yeah, I was born an atheist, a religious upbringing. Southern Baptist, my parents, but they let me think on my own, which is novel. It's kind of unique nowadays. And I never caught the God virus. I met my wife 23 years ago, and she was Church of Christ, very, very devout, very conservative Christian, and within the first year I made her an atheist, and she made me a Democrat, so I consider us even. Both my kids, 18 and 21, are atheists, and I've told them, I was like, girls, can't one of you maybe be a Mormon or a Hindu, because you're making me look bad. You're making me look too influential. They're both, what's the odds? Both of them are hardcore atheists. And my oldest, my 21-year-old, stopped believing in God before she stopped believing in Santa Claus. And I tried, my wife would disagree, but I tried not to be influential. I just laid it out there. But you'd be surprised how influential you can be, especially with your children. But, anyway. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about 2 things, so I'm going to try to make it quick. Is there a lot of questions? Maybe I can cut into Q&A time. Throw those hands up, though. Okay, good. All right, I want to talk about, the other, TJ and Courtney were talking about kind of face-to-face interactions. I want to talk about the power of social media, specifically YouTube. And then we're going to talk about, we put together the 10 commandments, our show turns 2 years old next week. So we're 2 years old now. So we learned a couple things we picked up. It started out 10 commandments, and now you'll see it's 20 commandments. So we're going to do that afterwards. And we're going to talk about how it can maybe relate to your interactions with people. And then I'm going to try to talk. Anyone is a blogger or a YouTuber already? Anyone does anything?
I keep trying to start my own thing,
okay, this is my talk. I'm going to try to make you one. Because
I'm already certified in social media marketing.
Okay, that's a start. Maybe you teach me something. You could teach us something, I'm sure.
You're supposed to tweet 15 times a day. I can't do that.
You have to. That's one of the big ones. You have to stay very active. Upload regularly. Stay active on all social media. Which is, we get 800 comments a month on our YouTube. I'm retired, so I get to actually try to respond to all of them still. But there's going to be a day when that's not going to happen.
If you want help,
a volunteer that would handle my YouTube comments.
Not the YouTube comments, but
I would kill for all
YouTube comments are a cesspool.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. YouTube comments.
Oh, and that's the other thing about our show. Before I get into this, we're unique. Our show is. Oh, let me also say, the reason I want all of you to think about getting into YouTube. We're going to talk about how powerful it is compared to everything else out there. But also, the Christian in particular, but the theist market on YouTube is saturated. And you think there's a lot of atheist YouTubers out there, right? There's comparatively none. A rising tide raises all the boats. We need as many as we can. It seems like there's a lot out there, but we need as many as we can. We're a voice in the darkness compared to all the, all the religious, and sermons. I'm not even talking about sermons. I'm talking about the religious apologists. Yeah.
Do you see any trend there? Are the atheists just farther and farther into the dark? Are there more atheists showing up? Or
You know what they call it? The internet is where religions go to die.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard that? So when the rise in the internet, there's a direct relationship, an inverse proportionality with the rise of the internet and the secularization of the United States. And I think there's a correlation. You guys think? Yeah. So yeah.
I think there is.
In order to be religious, you have to control the information. You just can't do it anymore.
Right. It's done a lot to get our voices out there, and that's how we all met up here. And now we all might have different goals as atheists, but I believe I would assume that everyone in this, one of our goals is sense of community, social interaction. Right. This is kind of our church, right? It's a breath of fresh air coming in here, Sam. Going to Metroplex Atheist, going to Freedom from Religion Foundation, and giving these talks. It's just like I can breathe. It's not like anywhere else. I feel more at home, like our solstice parties and our different atheist events. We're good? Okay. Okay, I'm off on a tangent. So YouTube is powerful. Yeah, there's other things out there. There's BitChute, which is up and coming. It's just like YouTube. It's not as moderated. We're not on it yet. A lot of atheist YouTubers are starting to jump ship. It's based on cryptocurrency. You get paid by cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin, instead of ad revenue through Google, so you're not beholden to them. So there's that. That's a different. But the books, I sell less than 10 a month now, except the holidays, and it spikes up. We only have 7 people donating to us. We get less than 200 downloads across all the platforms that are audio only. Our speaking events, there's 24 people in this room. Consider 24 people. I love doing this, don't get me wrong. But consider that video we're putting out right now is going to get at least 2,000 views by the end of the year. Our best video is 70,000 views in a single video. Our average, a good video might be 15 or 20,000 per video. That's Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden seating capacity is 21,000. Think about that, just one video. That's why I'm saying it's powerful. If you've thought about I don't like the way I sound. I sound nasally, right? I've heard all the excuses. I don't like the way I look. I don't want to do this. I don't know what I would say. How do I write a script? How do I get started? Everyone's got a card in their pocket now with a phone number on it. I've got a plethora of hints, tips, tricks. So text me and get something going. Make something happen.
Come on our show.
Yeah.
I want these 3 on my show.
They seem pretty interesting.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
that's going to be awesome. Yeah. Where do you guys live?
We're in Dallas.
Dallas. Well, you came all the way out here. You could come to our
They can go
studio
to
in
the Grand
Midlothian.
Prairie studio.
Yeah.
Come to my house.
They can go to the Grand Prairie studio.
Grand Prairie, even. Yeah, we could do that one. As far as religious demographics
moving
go,
to
these
Dallas.
guys are the best fashion sense, I would say, too.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm a North County guy too.
Yep. Okay, so I think I beat that to death. Any questions on that? YouTube is where it's at, as of right now. What makes our show unique compared to other atheist channels? I can't even think of another one that does it. Maybe Thinking Atheist, maybe Hemet Meta, but aside from maybe a onesies and twosies, we are a free speech absolutist.
We're not echo chamber.
We're the exact opposite of an echo chamber. It makes some interesting reading on the comments. The only thing we ban, block, or censor is multiple repetition spam. If someone's, this cut and paste Bible verse on every one of our videos, 50 of them, I'll get rid of 45 of them. So I weed out a lot of spam. That's it. And hate speech and incitement to violence. Anything else, it's fair game.
And our guests.
Well,
Yeah.
even hate speech. I mean,
Hate speech
is free speech.
Well, see,
See, there we go. We got some not echoing going on.
Not echoing.
Oh yeah, we disagree completely about a lot of things.
Some here would disagree with hate speech is free speech. If it's not inciting violence, that's a whole episode though.
Yeah, we have episodes on that.
If it doesn't incite violence, okay, next.
But we don't just have atheists on the show, which is I think what we're also talking about.
Oh well, yeah. So our motto is building bridges, finding common ground, and having fun. So that's what makes us different. We have never had a show where either in studio or via remote, via VoIP call-in. We've never had a show where the Christian leaves in a huff or doesn't shake hands with us from the studio. So we don't attack. We're not confrontational. That's kind of what makes us different. You look at some of these angry atheists. I'm not saying it's wrong. We've had Ron on our show many times in studio. I know how firebrand. I know how some of you can get, and sometimes that's what's needed. Sometimes they need a little wake-up call. But as far as the overall theme of the show is, hey, we're a neutral space. You can come and we've got a guy coming in May that's he's a Christian, and he thinks the only way to actually communicate with God is to be on hallucinogenic drugs. Yeah. So we're going to talk to him, and we're not going to laugh. We're not going to guffaw. We're going to listen to what he has to say. Who knows? I don't know anything about it. That's all I know so far. Okay, so here's the 20 commandments. The ones highlighted, I think, apply to real life situations too. So I'm just going to kind of run through these. Throw your hand up, really, because we got 20 good minutes. So if you want to add some comments to this, we've thrown these together over 2 years, and number 3, TJ was talking about it, how to deal with hostility. In our live chat, when we go live, in our comments, on our other social media platforms, we'll get, what'd you call it?
Sniped.
Yeah, or intellectually dishonest.
Oh, okay.
They come, they're not even trying to have an argument.
They're not arguing in good faith.
Not arguing in good faith, which means what? What does that mean, not arguing in good faith?
So that's going to be like where you're going and you're presenting your argument, but the whole point of the argument is to win.
By any means necessary.
Scoring of points, yeah.
Right. Disingenuous arguments.
That's a good point. That's why
you don't necessarily wholeheartedly believe what you're saying, but you're using it because you know it's a bullet.
Right.
Or for argument's sake.
That's good.
For argument's sake.
I think that's why we've never had a formal debate. We never have formal debates on our show. They're always casual, back and forth discussions. I think that's more productive. Yeah, conversations. Because a formal debate, first off, it's a time limit. You give you don't actually start interacting with your opponent until the last third of the debate. 10-minute counter, and at the very end, right?
Also, at the exact same time, formal debates are not actually about the free exchange of ideas as much as they are the free performance of ideas.
Yeah. Its popularity kind of has too, because what I've noticed, Sam Harris can make people laugh, and I don't even know if he's trying. He wins a lot of debates just because he gets people laughing. It's a trick to it. You might not even be right. If you can get the crowd on your side, there's lots of ways. It's kind of more politics than it is trying to get to the truth.
That's rhetoric in its old sense. Of oratory, rhetoric.
Rhetoric, yeah.
Like Roman speech.
Exactly. So we are always trying to improve our production quality. You wouldn't know it from our remote setup is bare bones, but our studio, we're kind of growing. We got some nice equipment. So if you're just starting out with at home, you don't need a green screen. You don't need a good camera. You don't need great acoustics. Just write down something, look it over, get another set of eyeballs on it. That's always a big one. Don't write a script and don't get someone else to look at it. Always get a sanity check. I learned that the hard way. I started in the garage with a black background, 101 degrees, sweating it out in the garage with a phone and unscripted, and I was rambling like I am now anyway. Okay, also I think Courtney was talking about this. Don't get so emotionally invested in what you're talking about that you lose sight of logic and reason and stay on point. If you get flustered, Anxiety, oh, made a good point, I feel backed into a corner. Or I'm angry at what you just said and I want to come over the top at you. If you can, I know.
That's a
Yes.
good idea. I'm going to need to chew on that for a little bit.
How many times have I said during a debate that I was wrong? How many times have I
You
admitted
say
I was
it all
wrong?
the time.
Well,
I say it all the time. I have no
Well,
humility.
like,
Yeah.
He says it enough for us to recognize that he actually does it.
well, yeah, very willing.
If you do it once, it means you're open to their ideas.
Yeah.
All three of them have changed my minds at some point. I've changed my minds on 4 major issues just in 2019. So ask yourself, that's a good homework assignment. Go home, write down. I told this to the Bedford Freedom from Religion Foundation, and one of them actually did it and wrote back and said, and she said, yeah, that works. My list was really small. I said, write down everything you could be wrong about. If it's a short list, you have a lot to work on. And she said, yeah, I wrote it down and I had like 4 things. Then I started really digging in, okay. And her list got longer and it kind of made her think. And I got some positive feedback on that. Drama and rumors, that happens,
All the time.
Yeah.
I'm literally writing a paper about drama and rumors.
But within the atheist community,
Not within the atheist community.
it might be one of our other pre-designed lectures is about the atheist schism and the polarization of the atheist community, the far left and now this growing
That
far
is a
right,
fantastic
the atheist
conversation.
schism. So we have a whole talk on that. You don't let your emotions cloud your judgment. Oh, like I said, we don't ban, we don't block, we don't delete, we don't censor. We get some outrageous stuff on there that 95% of other atheist YouTube channels would take off. Just like online rumors and drama, there's something going on. The largest online atheist organization is what? What do you think it is? The largest online atheist organization in the world, Atheist Republic, right? And there's a guy, hey Steve, he's going to be watching this, I'm sure. There's a guy named Steve McRae, and he's the host of the Non Sequitur show on YouTube. And he was banned from Atheist Republic. Now I'm not saying if it was right or wrong, I'm not making a judgment on that, but his contention is he was banned for no reason because he's vehemently strict on the definition of atheist and agnostic. He is an agnostic, he's not an atheist. He thinks these two things are mutually exclusive. He says if you call yourself an atheist, you share at least a secondary burden of proof because even though you haven't outwardly made a claim, you still have to defend your rejection of the claim. And he uses the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, and he makes some really good points. He gets a lot of flack, as you can imagine, right? Now, I'm not making any judgments, but why was he banned? I don't know. Maybe they had cause, maybe they didn't. But you're going to get things like, don't let him flare up. Ad hominems attack the ideas, not the person. So I get this a lot. If before we started the talk, talking about
I know I called you an asshole. That was an ad hominem.
No, it's not.
attack.
Name calling is not an ad hominem. If you said, I'm an asshole and I shouldn't be standing up in front of you all because I've never known what it's like to be a Christian because I was born an atheist, right? That's an ad hominem. You're using something about that person to discredit them. But just actual name calling, just calling someone an asshole is not an ad hominem.
Really?
You're right. Yeah.
It's not productive.
It's not productive. In fact,
not productive.
Is name calling on this one? It's on here. What else? Any of these spark any interest? Raise your hands.
Number 11.
Yep, 11.
Number 11.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we're clear. So if you and I are having a conversation, I've got a good citation, something I want to bring to you. I mean, I could give you everything in the book, but I could also just give you the quote and the author and say, this is just cool, not cool.
Well, I mean, I'm not the sole authority. What do you think?
I'm just trying to talk to you.
Okay. Well, here's what I think. In the course of a casual conversation, it's a little bit presumptuous to say, "Oh, you need to read."
Oh no, I would never present it that manner.
But if you said, "Hey, listen, in line with what we're talking about, there's something in this book. I don't know the exact passage, I can't. Or here's a study There was a study done in Scandinavia where they took infants under a year old and they exposed them to different types of toys to find out if maybe there is a gender, if different genders lean towards different types of career options. Like boys automatically gravitate towards the mechanical, girls automatically gravitate towards faces and people and personality and language. All right, that's controversial as hell, but if you show me the exact study that was done in Sweden, oh wow, and large sample size. Oh, that, well, you know.
I mean, that also gives you the ability to take a look at the study, see if maybe there might be some underlying problems with the study.
Yeah, pick the study apart. But what this is kind of talking about is, I get it from the Christians a lot. Oh, you just don't understand the Bible, or you need to read, I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. He'll explain it all for you. Well, that's why we're here. We're here because you're trying to explain it. Don't let someone else do the talking. There's another one. I would like to see you, oh, number 12 too. I'd like to see you in a debate with such and such. No, I'm talking to you now. Why are you putting it off on them? Are you not a ringer? Yeah, well, that's exactly what they're doing. They're saying they're not competent enough. I need to get my big guns. And guess who was at the Atheist Christian Book? Oh, by the way, I'm going to leave that up there if anyone wants to go to that. It's in Arlington, the Atheist and Christian Book Club.
How was Frank Turek?
Frank Turek. We had him live in person. We had Frank Turek in the Atheist and Christian Book Club. That was awesome. And he's usually really confrontational. If you see his debates against Hitchens.
He had a talk at the UTADSM earlier, and of course, like, all of the people that were in line to ask questions were atheists.
Oh, really?
And they were
awesome.
and they were trying to do like this little prototype like debate thing with him, which, because he's so confrontational, he's already got the answers polished and presented.
There's nothing he hasn't heard.
Right.
And don't try the gotcha questions. I don't ever go into it like this kid that we're going to be talking to, the hallucinogenic. You know, I'm not going to get him in any gotchas. I'm really, honestly, I'm not doing this because I'm trying to deconvert people. It's a happy, the very last slide, don't let me forget. I'm going to end the talk with something, we don't get them very often, but when we do, it kind of made me cry, even when I took a screenshot and posted it up there. But I don't do it to try to win hearts and minds. Some of you do, that's great. Some of them do, that's fine. I couldn't care less. I hate when people say I could care less. I couldn't care less if anyone deconverts because of us. It happens all the time though, but that's not my goal. Not me personally. I'm trying to have fun. I'm honestly wanting to talk about the biggest question on earth. The biggest question I can think of. Does some part of me live on after death? And I'm not 100% sure. I'm still not. Okay, next. Kind of in line with what you were saying. Educate yourself, right? How many times have you heard that one?
On the one hand, like, I get it in the context of your show. This is precisely what you were doing, but like at the exact same time, if I'm just going and I'm goofing off on social media and all of a sudden I have somebody who is trying to go and argue points aside from like what I'm already going and discussing. We had this conversation, my ex-girlfriend and I got into like this huge fucking fight over racism, where she didn't even understand the basis of critical theory. And so at some point it's like, I can't...
Critical race theory? Critical gender theory? Just critical theory.
Yeah,
have a lot to talk about.
Don't get me started. But see, as much as we argue, it's right here.
Right.
If we see it getting, we've even said, man, let's take 10. Let's have a drink. Let's talk about something else.
And so the thing is that like at that point it's kind of like, I don't have the time to go and explain everything that you need to know. And we're getting way too heated, and
you're doing the right thing.
Either I'm starting to argue in bad faith, or you're starting to argue in bad faith. This conversation needs to end. And please, I would be happy to have this conversation with you again after you go, and I'll go and I'll make some attempt of going and breaking one of your previous rules of, please read this book. Once you've read this book or watched this video or whatever, come back to me. Let's go and let's discuss it.
People are busy. May I recommend, instead of please read this book, go and find out the specific, hey, read this half a chapter.
Yeah.
First off, they're more likely to do it. Because you say read this book, unless you're Chris, he devours the Atheist Christian Book Club. He actually reads every book. I cheat. I get on YouTube. John Loftus
Give me the cliff
debate.
notes.
I can't teach you evolutionary biology and
Right.
try to meet you somewhere on this field of battle.
And not only
Yeah,
that,
go get
we're
a
not-
science
I'm not a
degree and come back and
biologist.
talk to me.
Why are you asking me these questions?
Yeah.
Courtney's got a degree in psychology. If they tread anywhere near psychology waters, I love to see. And Courtney keeps it right here.
It's like chum in the water.
And it starts off with, well, actually.
Well, actually, the dreaded well, actually.
But that's what I'm going and I'm saying is that like here's some way that explains it better than I can explain it right now because I'm too emotionally invested in the outcome. So please, that's my way of educate yourself, and then we can come back to the
But
conversation.
saying educate just.
I would say that's on the surface a good way to go
It
to
is.
look at the situation. But when someone tells me, hey, look at what this person said about what I'm trying to say, it means to me that that person telling me that doesn't really understand even
it's
what
lazy.
they think about the subject.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to get me to look at it through the filter of somebody else's interpretation of it. And
Or
I'm
they-
like, no,
or they
I
don't
want to
know
know
it
what
fully enough
you
to
actually
explain it to
think.
you.
We're having the conversation.
This is why we argue.
I'm going to wrap it up.
The
Okay.
argument is
So
is
this
how we
used to
move
say-
forward. I mean,
This,
it's a good thing.
this used to say offense can only be taken, never given, but I put in brackets there unintentional offense. Anyone follow Cyrus the Skeptic?
Oh, yeah.
He's another atheist YouTuber out of Georgia, somewhere southeast.
Cyrus the Hobbit.
Yeah, he came back and said, no, this is one of the things I changed my mind on. He's right. If you intend to cause the offense, it is offense causing. If you knew you were going to cause the offense, that's why I had to put in brackets unintentional offense. And this is, hey, in this, please forgive me the buzzwords, I understand, but in this professional victimhood, this outrage culture, right? That a little bit, but we clutch our pearls maybe a little bit too much nowadays. Yeah. Oh, that's offensive. Okay. You know
Oh my
what?
God, oh
Can
my
we
God.
still have a talk?
I can't.
Yeah.
Literally Hitler.
I don't want to step on anyone's toes there. And believe me, I understand. If you feel offense, I'm an empath with that. I understand it, and I never try to cause offense for its own sake. And I know some things I'm going to say is going to offend someone in the room. Sometimes that happens, and I'm still going to say them. So I don't know. Okay, next, and then skip one more. All right, I'm just going to read this out loud because it's going to be hard for you
that's
guys
hard
to
to
see
do.
it.
Yeah, that's
This isn't the first one. This isn't the first one we got, but this is the best
fan
one. This is a fan letter. Hello. This is why I do it, by the way. I don't do it to win hearts and minds. I don't do it to preach, get deconverts. But hello, I had a very conservative Christian upbringing. I spent my entire childhood being afraid of an eternal punishment that I now know doesn't exist. Sometimes I'm unsure if I will ever overcome that trauma. Anyway, around November of last year, that was 2018, something inside of me decided to search on the word atheist in YouTube just to see how evil I've been taught they all were. I clicked first on one of your videos. I clicked on one of your videos first because it looked like a debate with Christians. I think it was one, maybe, I think Chris, it was yours. My expectation was to see an angry atheist making a total fool out of himself, but I couldn't have been more wrong. This was an hour of two friends just talking and getting along. The more videos I watched, man, I'm going to tear up every time I read this. The more videos I watched, the more conflicted I felt. Part of me was scared and uncomfortable, but part of me was climbing out of the ground to the sunlight. You have to realize I had spent over 20 years in the warmth of a loving God, living only to evangelize and bring the good word to those around me. It has taken several months, but I'm happy to announce to the world now that I've shed my delusions and now call myself an atheist. I know you are probably very busy. I just wanted to tell you the effect you had on me.
Jim Hall.
Yeah, that's why we do it. And you can go back one slide. Thank you, guys. We got like 6 minutes of questions. And don't forget some bumper stickers. Yeah.
You
You guys answer some questions.
You've got all these channels available these days.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one,
Ooh.
go with it today.
Besides mine?
Well, I mean, which, YouTube, whatever.
Depending on what, yeah,
Would
depends
you
on
let
what
us
you're
all
looking
in on
for.
that?
If
Oh,
you
like
want
what
good
other people are
overall-
producing?
Gosh, there's so many.
no one person I totally agree
Probably
with.
like our favorite.
And if there is one person that you agree with everything they say, you're probably not being honest with yourself about
Listen to
yourself.
TJ. If you agree with everything one particular person says, you need to rethink your stances. Don't vote down party lines. You know, yeah, that's a great point. There's
You see my face?
Do you guys know what's
I was like,
April 27th right here in Dallas? Do you guys know about April 27th? Faithful's Forum. So April 27th, of YouTubers from all over the world, and these are the best. These are the ones I would recommend.
They're sold out.
I'm still.
Yeah, I didn't get there. I didn't get it. I didn't get
I'm gonna
ticket in time
squeeze it.
either. Now I'm trying to like finagle my my clout and like knowing people in the atheist YouTube community and be like, hey, can you get me into the forum?
Yep.
I forgot to get my ticket because it hadn't worked out so far yet.
Cosmic skeptic, genetically modified skeptic, godless engineer, Caitlin Chloe, Cyrus the skeptic,
Shannon Q.
Shannon Q. Come on.
Drew.
Isn't Cosmic Skeptic going?
Drew.
Yeah. Genetically modified skeptic.
Oh, that's right. You already said
Is Cosmic Skeptic
Or
going?
Jim.
Yep. It's coming they're coming
Cosmic
from UK,
skeptic.
Alaska,
Cosmic
Georgia.
skeptic.
My little heart's gonna go.
See, that's her boy. Or that's
These
her
are big
man
fish.
crush.
We only have 6,000 subscribers. These guys have 150,000. So I'm just going to go and it's already someone's already said it's sold out. I'm just going to stand out in the last year I just stood out in the hallway and tried to catch them for quick interviews. So that's
Yeah,
what
we're
I'll
gonna do that
this
again.
time.
We're gonna hijack. people.
Totally. Anything else? All right, guys. Thank you.
Let's give these guys a big hand.